This is nice.
I'm in the latter camp.
You know, I've been having the windows open. I've been enjoying the cooler temperatures as well.
Yeah.
So those days in the 70s, you know, we've rebounded back into the mid 80s. I'm sure you were feeling more of that warmth yesterday.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of continue on that trend, but I wanted to give you a look at our flood warnings, which again, that's really been our main concern since Milton rolled through. We still have several of our rivers under flood warnings because of these high water levels. And Matt, we were talking about the Withlacoochee yesterday because you were there several days ago at this point, but we're still really keeping close tabs on both of those main areas because we're currently at about 19.5 feet at 31 Trilby and nearly 10 feet there right around State Road 200. We look at our flood stages and both of those at this point several feet above flood stage and expecting these to continue to rise a little bit more. So rising to 10 feet here this week at the State Road 200 location. And then even though we saw this other part of the river crest on Friday at 19.7 feet, look at where we're at now. We've barely seen those waters go back down even after cresting a day and a half ago. And so that's been the concern, is that these rivers are really taking their time to drain back out. So at least we haven't had any additional rain here around the area. And even as we look through Thursday, not much in the way of rain. We're really not talking anything significant. But for today, I think we are going to have a couple more clouds, and a few of those will be able to squeeze out some showers. Very isolated, mostly to the east of us, but I think there will be a couple of spots that maybe pick up on a sprinkle here or there through the day today. And you can kind of see a little bit more in the way of that along the east coast here. We have these breezes coming in out of the northeast. So more moisture over the Atlantic is forming these showers, and as they move inland, they are overall kind of fizzling out a little bit. But with the cooler, the cloudier conditions, I think we will see a couple of those make their way a little bit more inland. So as we check on winds right now around the area, we're in this range 10 to 15 miles per hour for most of the area. Some gusts up to 25 then off across the east coast. And so that's kind of the range where our winds will be for most of the day today. Temperature-wise, at 67 for Tampa, Sarasota, Lakeland, Frostproof, Sebring, you're all at 68 right now. Brooksville 62, St. Pete 70 right now. And so through the next couple of hours, we're going to break out of the 60s for the areas that are in there. We will have passing clouds through the day, but a good deal of kind of sunshine, blue sky peeking out in between. And notice those winds. Those are going to stay above 10 miles per hour right on into the afternoon. By 2 o'clock, right around 82 in Tampa. And then we're going to top out, I think, right around the mid 80s for a lot of the area. But notice the clouds. Those are kind of going to stay with us a bit more today. We did see quite a few of those yesterday, but today, here's some of those showers that our models are picking up on. So notice those are well to the east of the area, but then as we head into the afternoon, some of those winds maybe try and carry them into parts of Polk, DeSoto, Highlands County, maybe up near the Nature Coast. A couple more clouds for those areas as these numbers are showing our expected winds through the day today. And so you can see those are up in that 20, 25 mile per hour range. And we have a new hurricane in the Atlantic Basin, Hurricane Oscar. I'm going to talk more about that coming up in my next forecast in the next half hour. But boy, has that storm sure spun up quickly in the last day. Here's a check on temperatures today around the area. About 84 for Tampa, as well as Clearwater, right around 80 degrees. Crystal River, mid 80s to about 85 as we head further south, Northport, Arcadia areas. Temperatures tonight are going to be on the cool side again, with many spots in the mid and upper 60s, maybe right around 70 degrees closer to St. Pete, and our coastal spots with temperatures tomorrow very similar, mid 80s again. And not much in the way of significant rain right on through this upcoming week as we check out your extended 7-day forecast. Matt?
All right, Val, thanks. Still to come here on Good Day, check your freezers. A common breakfast item is under a major recall, and it is sold at supermarkets everywhere. We'll tell you which item that is. Plus, lunch breaks are pretty normal on the job unless you are Gen Z. More young professionals are actually feeling guilty about it. We'll explain.
Hi, everyone. I'm meteorologist Valerie Mills. Thanks for logging on to My Fox Hurricane, tracking Hurricane Oscar. And this storm really intensified quickly. Within about 24 hours, we went from development odds around 30% that we would see something form to having a Category 1 hurricane. And so this intensified very quickly. It's a very small, condensed storm, but that's the thing with these smaller hurricanes. They are able to spin up and intensify much quicker. And we can see some of these dark colors here show showing some of those overshooting cloud tops and just kind of the robust convection around this general area of circulation. And actually, we've already had landfall early Sunday morning in the southern Bahamas from Category 1 Hurricane Oscar, and we expect another landfall to be likely through the next couple of hours. So here's where our hurricane warnings are in effect. We have the Turks and Caicos, the southern Bahamas, and then part of the coastline of Cuba is in this hurricane warning. And then we get into the blue and yellow as we kind of head away from the main impact area where we have tropical storm watches and warnings in effect. So it's a small part of the Caribbean that is going to be feeling the impacts from this storm. But over the next couple of days, the wind and the rain is going to be really intense with this storm, especially for those areas. So we currently have those 80-mile-per-hour sustained winds, and Hurricane Oscar is moving at a pretty quick clip here, about 12 miles per hour to the west and southwest. And this is a little bit of a funky track map as I play this out. We are expecting this storm to dip a bit more to the south, and that's where we anticipate that landfall likely Sunday afternoon along the coast of Cuba. And then it really starts to take that sharp curve to the north. By Monday afternoon, winds down quite a bit from 80 miles per hour. We anticipate landfall to 45 on Monday, and then those winds are just kind of going to continue to weaken. 40 miles per hour by Tuesday on into Wednesday. And notice it takes that sharp turn to the north and east. So this is not an impact to Florida, to the continental U.S., but it's really maybe the Caribbean islands, and we'll keep an eye on Bermuda as this heads in that general direction, but we expect it to lose its tropical characteristics pretty quickly as it moves out of this area, starts to encounter some hostile upper winds, some drier air, but it's this stronger shear that's kind of shooting off the coast of Florida, off the east coast, well out into the Atlantic. And so there's where Oscar is now. Once it takes that dip to the south, it starts to get pulled north and east, where it's going to encounter this stronger area of wind shear, which should continue to weaken it over the next couple of days. But as far as the rain, especially for parts of the Turks and Caicos, the southern Bahamian Islands, we're talking the potential for 6 to 8 inches of rain for a lot of areas, and some isolated higher totals. We'll also see those pretty tough rainfall totals, the potential for flash flooding, maybe even some mudslides for parts of Cuba as well for Sunday, right on into the start of our week. But you can see models in pretty good agreement here with this sharp curve to the north and east. And we have these strong steering flows. It doesn't really give these storms much option in where they can go. So that's good news for the East Coast, as we don't really anticipate any additional activity behind this. This is really the only area that we're watching right now in the tropics. But we look at this formation zone area, and at this point in our hurricane season, we tend to see a higher frequency of hurricanes forming in the northwestern Caribbean, right on off to Bermuda. So we'll be keeping a close eye on all of these areas, all of the Atlantic basin, as we start to wind down the rest of October. But hurricane season runs through the end of November, so not time to let our guards down just yet. Nadine and Oscar now off the list as of this weekend. Next name in line will be Patty. We'll continue to keep you updated right here on My Fox Hurricane.